What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Film Bros Podcast, episode number 14. We're making it, DJ. We got another episode for you this year. Look at that. And today, we're not doing a new movie. You know? What are you doing with your hand? I don't know if they can even see your hand on camera.
I think they could. Actually, probably not.
Yeah. Are you a little excited about today? We thought, instead of seeing... Because there were only a couple of new movies out. One of them being Marry Me with Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez. And I just didn't really... You know, as much as I want to see that movie, I think it genuinely looks funny. Because Owen Wilson being in a role like that seems appealing, you know?
Yeah,
Did you see the trailer?
Nope, didn't even know this was a thing.
Quick premise of this movie.
Okay.
We're not talking about on the podcast, unfortunately, today. So Jennifer Lopez is like a pop star.
Okay.
Right? And she's singing this song like, Marry Me, right? Because she's supposed to marry this other singer.
Okay.
And she sees him cheating on her. There's like a video that comes out. And then Owen Wilson's dragged to this concert, and in the crowd his daughter or something gives him a sign that says, Marry Me, ?
Okay.
And she says, yes, I will marry you, Owen Wilson. And that's the movie. And then it's just them trying to find a real relationship. And Owen Wilson's like, why don't you come with me to the semi-formal?
Wow.
You know, shit like that.
Yeah.
So it looked funny.
Okay.
Didn't see it.
I'm not.
Looked dumb. Yeah, no. It's terrible. It's gotta be terrible. The trailer's enough. But
is it like a it's a
rom-com.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know, you need those.
All right.
Jackass Forever comes back.
Yeah.
We need rom-coms back. Mm-hmm. We need good movies back.
Wow.
And they're not out yet.
No.
So we're talking about old movies.
Yeah.
That might not be good.
Old.
So
not old, but
if you're listening to the Film Bros podcast, you know there's a big movie coming out beginning of March, The Batman. And me and DJ were like, you know what? Why don't we take this time to maybe do some throwback reviews, build up to that Batman movie that's coming out early March. So we went back and we watched the two Tim Burton Batman movies. Those are the ones we're talking about today, which is 1989's Batman and 1992's Batman Returns.
Yeah.
You had never seen either of them.
Either of them.
I had seen the first one twice, maybe.
Okay.
Tried to watch it a couple times, could never get through it.
Okay.
Never saw Batman Returns in full. So let's talk about it, because you're the big comic book guy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about old comic book movies?
I feel that then where do I start with this? Well, okay. I feel like for particularly the Batman. Is it called The Batman or just Batman?
The new one?
No. The
OG?
The OG.
The one we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's called Batman.
Just Batman, no the. Gotcha.
You could say Tim Burton's. You could
Tim
say
Burton's
1989,
Batman.
whatever you like.
I like that. Right. So Tim Burton's Batman, I feel like really encapsulates how comical, like basically, how do I put this? The newer ones go for more of a dramatic action kind of feel. This one's very much like a comic movie.
It's goofy.
Yeah. It's goofy for its own reasons, and just it's not too goofy, where it's like it was good for its time. Honestly, the first one, no. The second one, fucking
okay.
Yes.
We'll take them one at a time.
Okay, so we'll start
with the OG.
The OG. So the whole premise is, you got Bruce Wayne. People don't know of Batman yet. He's kind of just like this whisper in the wind kind of thing, and he ends up getting a romantic relationship that's kind of hinted at in the movie with Vicky Vale, which
kind of hinted.
Yeah, they fuck. So Vicky Vale.
Not only do they fuck, they bring her into the bank.
Yeah, I'm getting them mixed up. I'm getting them mixed up with
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, which they definitely fucked.
Definitely.
So
we'll get to the fucking movie in a bit.
Vicky, I don't know who this Knox character is. And I'm not gonna lie, I even looked into it. Don't know who it is. I think it's an original fictional character for the movie.
Okay.
But Vicky Vale, I was like comic accurate. Mm-hmm. Vicky Vale's it's different in here. She's a reporter for the newspaper in the comics, or maybe it was back then, like the originals when they first released. But she becomes a news reporter, so it was a different little take. And as goofy and as wacky as it is, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it for its time and where they took their characters. It's goofy. It's wacky. It's not going to be like something you see today, but I think for when it came out for its time, I definitely saw people going, oh shit, cool. I will say there are some funny, of course there's going to be some funny laugh out loud parts.
It's an 80s movie.
It's something that I could not stop laughing. I never thought I'd see Batman run downstairs. I never asked myself, damn, like how does he run downstairs? And so he just, come on. so you had that. Joker. Let's talk about Joker. Joker doesn't really have a finite name to him. He's kind of like a mystery person.
But he's Jack.
But he's Jack in here. I'm not gonna hate on it. You know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna be that person like, you're not supposed to have a name. They had to do something, so they gave him Jack. Where Joker falls into a pit of acid. That's accurate to one of many supposed origin stories to that of Joker. He has like a permanent grin. His skin turns like, it's not paint. It's like his skin is fucking bleached from the chemicals. He has all of these like personality traits that make him like super unpredictable, things like that. And something that I want to get your take on, and I actually, when you say anything, I actually want to get your take on it. What was your take? Obviously it was goofy, but on like his comical scheme of like releasing this gas throughout the city.
I mean, it's fun. I don't like this movie. I don't fuck with the old superhero movies. I barely fuck with the new ones. So when you make the old ones just goofy, it's not necessarily for me.
Okay.
Tim Burton's an interesting choice for a Batman movie.
And it doesn't need to be fucking 2 hours.
It's so long.
Stop making them 2 hours.
They're all 2 hours. I kind of think his take on Gotham City is kind of cool. It's so Tim Burton, though.
Right, yeah, it is.
The things I love about the music is fucking iconic.
I could have done without it. It is iconic. But
and good. The music's great. Like, the Batman movie could be terrible. Every music in a Batman movie is great.
It's
a little scary how great. You don't like it?
It's good. Maybe it's just like timey. Maybe it's just like,
oh, I think it's sweet.
It's age. I do remember I was listening to it. I was like, this shit sounds so familiar. And it was because I'd always play Lego Batman.
Lego Batman. I thought the same thing.
In middle school.
That was my childhood.
So, I mean, it's good. It's nothing like extra. I maybe I have a bias because that shit was so fucking loud.
Yeah.
Like, whoever did the mixing on this movie.
Well, you gotta make the best part the loudest.
Every 5 minutes?
You want to get nuts? That wasn't loud for you?
You want to get nuts? The fucking quotes.
I wanted to give this movie another chance. So I watched this a couple years ago. And I didn't like it then. And I tried to start a couple times. Same thing with the original Superman movies. I don't like them either.
I haven't seen those.
There's just something about I don't want to be the guy that says the effects take me out of it, but the effects do take me out of it, and there's also just this, it's almost too childish for me. Like, it's too simple. Like, I'm not saying every superhero movie now is like this complex, makes you think all the time. They are, at the end of the day, fun, little popcorn movies. And this is that, but it's almost like a more childish version of that. And I don't know, I just don't enjoy my time with it.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that swear they're all hipster and they're like, this is the best Batman. Christopher Nolan, you know, what he did is not as good as this. And you guys need to be put in a psychiatric ward.
So people say that this is the best Batman movie?
There's people that swear it.
Whoa.
On Letterboxd.
Hold on.
Because they gotta be different. I get you gotta be different. But can you make a mature pick here? You're picking this? There's goofy-ass balloons shooting out gas?
I will vouch for the movie. I will not vouch for that concept of this being the best. Absolutely not.
It's like, are we dealing with children? But no, you're 30 years old on Letterboxd.
Yeah, and that's very much the theme of it. It's, you know, especially with, like, the effects back then, it was very practical. Oh, my God, when the car crashes, I mean, granted, it was done in The Dark Knight, but the car crashed and they used like toy cars. But it was so obvious that I don't know if you knew that, but in Dark Knight they do that same concept when they're in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Where there's like a miniature set and because they couldn't maneuver in like an actual bridge underpass.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
There's miniatures in that?
Yeah, so you know,
I thought that was all like real shit.
No, so you know when they're the Joker, he has the missile launcher, all that. It's cuts of them doing it like, you know, actual size. And then those scenes when cars are crashing and everything like that, those are actually miniature, like, that's a miniature set they filmed.
I gotta do more research on one of my favorite movies, man.
Yeah, that shit is dope.
Crazy.
So,
didn't age well here though.
yeah, no, this one, I mean, because it looks so obvious, but again, it's for its time. For its time, I can see it, but no, it's definitely not for everybody.
I get the for its time thing, right?
Yeah.
But then there's people that are saying
that
it's still great.
No.
It's
no.
I don't know.
No, man, you gotta update your resume.
I think so. Batman and Spider-Man. I'm a very basic person. I'm probably my two favorite superheroes. Mm-hmm. Probably Hulk up there from childhood memory, just because to me they're the coolest three I could think of. I like Batman because he's dark, he's gritty. I know I just described The Dark Knight and why I'm excited for this new Robert Pattinson one because I like that about him. He's not this colorful Marvel character. Not to say every Marvel character is super colorful and stuff, but compared into MCU stuff, this is a guy that goes through trauma. It's a guy that doesn't have superpowers. Yeah, he's fucking rich. But if I was rich, I'd probably do some crazy shit too. Yeah. I would probably become Batman.
Yeah.
And that's why I like the character. That's why we're going to talk about the Nolan movies in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. Some of my favorite movies ever. Mm-hmm. This, I don't think Michael Keaton's bad. I think Michael Keaton's probably one of the best parts. I think he's a fine Bruce Wayne. Batman, But I like him as a little cocky Bruce Wayne. Like, I like when Vicky Vale comes up to him. She's like, oh, do you know Bruce Wayne? He's like, I don't know. And, you know, I like that little, that nice little charm to the character. His Batman, it's like, not the first on-screen Batman. That's like Adam West and shit. But in terms of these movies, he's one of the first. He's coming back in the Flash movie.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Mm-hmm. Do you think Jack Nicholson's going to be in that?
That would be great.
That'd be wild. He's been acting in a movie since like The Departed.
Damn, yeah, shit. What did you what did you think of Well, before I get into that, so what did you thought the laughing gas thing?
I forgot we came from this question.
Yeah. I'm bringing it back because I really want to know your thoughts.
Yeah, why is the laughing gas a big topic?
Well, because that is a big thing that he like kind of strives for in a lot of his canon. I don't know.
See, I'm always going to be on the mindset of I don't care how accurate anything is.
Yeah,
I care if I like it.
But I'm always going to tell you.
Of course.
Forever.
Okay.
Because that's fine. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
And
so you like the gas.
I like the gas. I didn't like that they didn't explain what it did to the people.
Yeah, they kind of smiled and died.
That's it.
That was one of the parts I did like on the newscast.
Yeah, and they weren't wearing makeup, and I like that.
I like those Joker scenes.
They didn't explain why, because the reason why they're dying is like so dark and grimacing to why the Joker wants for everyone to smile, and he always says it throughout the movie, and he always says it throughout the comics, like, you need to laugh through the pain. That's why he's always laughing. Mm-hmm. So he wants for the whole world to laugh basically so much, you fucking start losing breath. So they're literally dying of laughter. But they don't explain that. They just go, ah, and then just die.
Yeah.
But the whole purpose of why the laughing gas is making them die is because they're laughing so much that they're asphyxiating on their own laugh.
See, that's a cool thing.
They didn't explain it.
You kind of put it together, but...
Yeah.
But that's a cool thing.
Yeah. Thought it would be a little cool nugget.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. They had that, the whole Vicky Vale relationship thing. What was your thoughts on Jack Nicholson's Joker?
Well, my thoughts on Jack Nicholson in general is I would say he's probably the best actor to ever be alive. Mm-hmm. If you were telling me right now, gun to my head, who's the best actor to ever live, I would probably say Jack Nicholson. I think he's just...
Gun to your head, Jack Nicholson?
I'd probably say Jack Nicholson. He's a fucking genius. I love him in pretty much everything he's in. Mm. So that being said, his Joker performance is obviously going to be good. Okay. It's a very... If you're getting Jack Nicholson in his prime... It's almost too easy of a role for him, I'd say. Mm. And because of that, I think the performance is good. I don't think it's great. A lot of people think it's one of the best. A lot of people compare him to Ledger. I think Ledger blows Nicholson's out of the water. Mm. Granted, it's a very different type of Joker. Mm. So you could make the argument that we were kind of talking about which is the better, because it could be more accurate, could not be. I just think Ledger gives arguably the best performance of all time, which we'll get to. Mm. And Nicholson... He's always great. Everything he does, he's always great. Mm. So for me, him giving a good performance, I'm like, oh, okay, I feel like he could have gone a little even further with it. But he's still obviously a good Joker. It's a good performance. Mm. What do you think, though?
I thought it was a great performance. I guess this will kind of trickle into the conversation that I wanted to have with you, that we kind of had off camera.
But we stopped ourselves.
But we stopped it because we wanted to have it on camera. And it's... basically this whole debate, which honestly, I mean, I don't truly even care about, and I don't think you care. A performance is a performance, but this is a big topic in the comic community, in the
nerd
culture community, is who is the best Joker, and I have people swearing up and down that it is Jack Nicholson's Joker, as opposed to Heath Ledger. And so something that you said is, and you even briefly touched on, is that Heath Ledger blows Jack Nicholson's Joker out the water. But they're like in two different realms, where Heath Ledger's Joker was created and written to be this menacing crime lord. Whereas in here, he's not really a crime lord, more or less than he is just a person who, well, no, they're kind of one and the same. He's more comical. He's more of a comical, he's a very much, as I will always say, he's a very much more accurate to the comics Joker than Heath Ledger's is. But Heath Ledger's Joker is like, you don't even need to call him Joker. He can just be some random ass nigga. It could literally be a crime movie and not called Batman. And Joker fits the role of like this menacing antagonist.
Right.
Whereas you see Tim Burton's Batman, Joker, and that's like, oh, that's Joker. So I was trying to compare and contrast. I'm gonna always just be biased and say Heath Ledger. And I think we're going to both be on that note. For people who say Jack Nicholson's, I won't agree, but I won't hold it past you to say, yes, that is the best. Just because he is the most accurate. He's so comical with this thing, and he's so unpredictable. I think even more unpredictable than Heath Ledger, not with planning, but with like his surroundings. Like Heath Ledger, when you're in a room with Heath Ledger's Joker, you don't know what he's going to do plan-wise. And he always said that in the movie. It's like, yeah, I just do things, right? He always did that. And in here, it's just like...
You were waiting to do that impression.
What?
I know you were building that impression deep down. You were waiting to, like, give a tease.
No, well, because...
I know you've been wanting to do it.
Well, no, because he always does that lip thing. Whatever. Jack Nicholson, you're put in a room with him, and you don't even know if he's going to kill you. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've seen this movie so many times, but I'm drawing a blank. Is he ever like in a? No, he's never in a room with someone, and he just like unexpectedly kills someone. Other than the pencil scene, but it was because he was antagonized by one of by the mob. Yeah. So in here, like he keeps saying, "You're my number one guy," and he just fucking kills him.
Yeah,
and he's just randomly killing people. He kills his girl. Or he says that she jumped out a window, but it's like alluded to that he like pushed her out. And that's the unpredictability of Joker, where it's like you could be this dude's like number one right-hand man, and he'll just off you. In the most comical way too, and he'll just laugh about it afterwards. He puts a gun to Vicky Vale's head and it just says bang. He's dancing with her, like he's very comical and dark in how he operates, and Heath Ledger's is just serious. But he has a plan on top of a plan on top of a plan, which is what makes him so sinister. So that's my, I guess, because I just spoke the whole time. Yeah, that's my compare and contrast on the two. Why they're so written differently.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can't compare by like which one's the best.
I feel like Ledger's character is more well written. I think he gives a better performance too.
Yeah, for sure.
I also think that character is more well written than this Joker, personally.
Yeah. I mean, again,
they're both good though.
Again, they're both written for two different turns. You get what I mean? Like, yeah. So I'm finding a hard time comparing them. But if you were to be like, which one's best? I'm like, oh, well, fuck it, Heath Ledger.
Well, yeah, you're comparing a Tim Burton movie to a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah,
and they're two very different types of directors, both geniuses in their own right, but they're very different. So, you being a comic book guy, but you say you're more of a Marvel comic guy. Are you a Batman comic guy?
I mean, I know I talk shit about DC, but it's dope what they have set up. Is how they have the heroes, and their lore is really dark. Marvel gets dark, but I will admit it's not as dark as DC goes and gets. I don't have anything against like Batman and like his lore. I think he has some of the coolest fucking villains and
easily
in comics in general, and has one of the coolest like villains and story of like how he deals with the villains, all that. I think it's all dope. What I do have a problem with is when fucking fans, you crazy ass fans, are like, yo, Batman versus God, who's gonna win? Batman. Who the fuck you think this guy is? I can't blame them because Batman over the years has just been written to just overcome the most impossible of feats.
Yeah.
So it is, but that's because the fans have driven the writers to write them like that. So it's just so upsetting when you're like, oh, Batman versus who? Batman.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's Batman. Okay. Whatever. Anyways, I think Batman's a cool character. I think he's great. And
do you like a Tim Burton version of Batman? Do you like the world he builds?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't.
So you think why? Because it's too. It doesn't fit well with
There's not enough layers. I feel like Bruce Wayne just puts on a costume and just fucking goes out.
Yeah.
Whereas like Christopher Nolan's, there's like layers to him. Like he's mourning his parents, and you see that sad side of him, and he's trying to juggle this relationship. And you know, when he's Bruce Wayne, he puts on a face. Or in here, Michael Keaton is very much open with, all right, I'm gonna tell Vicky Vale I'm Batman. And he just goes from Bruce Wayne to cowl Batman. So I feel like there's that's what makes Batman so great, is that he almost damn near has these different personalities of where a depressive Bruce Wayne and a egotistical Bruce Wayne. And so you can't really get a read on who he is and what he'll do, but you know that he's just the fucking smartest guy in the room and also the richest. So that's why I like him as a character, why I think a lot of fans like him. And in Tim Burton's, how they set him up, it's just like very on the surface Bruce Wayne Batman kind of guy. I
agree. I think it's hard to review these after seeing the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah, because it's done so well.
Because it's so good. You know, spoiler alert for anyone that doesn't like it. We could talk later. But as a first Batman movie, it's fine. I don't think it's necessarily a bad movie, but I know it's definitely a movie not for me. You know, Tim Burton's hit or miss for me. There's some of Tim Burton shit I absolutely love. This one wasn't too Tim Burton-y compared to a lot of his other shit, but I do kind of like his take. I agree in terms of how he develops the character, but I do kind of like his Gotham City. It feels out of an old comic book. Yeah. Now, granted, it's because a lot of the effects are shitty, for sure, but it definitely, I'm watching this, and I think I was kind of telling you where modern superhero movies, if they're taking on their version of the modern comics, where they're a bit more serious, you know, a bit more taken seriously, Batman fits in its own world where this is when the comic books were goofy. This is when they weren't taken as seriously, and if this is an adaptation of that comic, I think it does a good job. It's just not Chase's type of movie. Yeah. For sure.
Agreed, yeah.
And fine. I think we could almost transition into Batman Returns with that. But final thoughts on Batman before we get into Batman Returns.
Final thoughts. I was invested for a good portion of the movie. I think 2 hours, just for me.
Too long.
Granted, I was working 10 at night till 7 in the morning, and this was what was keeping me up. I didn't feel tired, but I just want to put that out that maybe that was also a factor. I wasn't watching during the day or anything. But it kept me invested for a majority of the time, and you know, I feel like Batman got just as much screen time as Joker's development, which isn't really seen very much in superhero movies. It always focused on the hero, especially for it to be the first one. It focused on both, which I really liked. So
that's a good point.
Yeah. It always focused on the hero and their rise and their fall. And this one, it gave both. It gave more Joker of an origin than Batman.
And Dark Knight has a lot of Joker time, but it's also a sequel to Batman Begins. It's not like Batman Begins did too much equal.
Yeah. So, like I said, I really liked it. I liked how Jack Nicholson portrayed Joker. I have no quarrels with how he did it. I think he's great. I think he's up there for it to be a debate of whether it's Heath Ledger or him.
Well, let me ask you this real quick before we rate this. Because we both prefer Ledger. Do you prefer Joaquin or Nicholson?
Joaquin Phoenix or Nicholson?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Who do I pick, or who do I think you're going to pick?
Oh, my fault. I got him mixed up with Jared Leto.
Oh, no, I didn't even
I was like, who the fuck do you think?
No. I think everyone puts Leto last.
Leto is dead last.
Yeah. I'm asking Joaquin Phoenix from the Joker movie. See, there's so many Jokers now.
I mean,
another case of it's such a different character.
And I think it's a great discussion because it is a very different character, very different take.
Wow, we're
on the same wavelength right now. Yeah, he's very depressed, and I'm gonna go with the one that's most well adapted on this one.
Okay. You pick Nicholson.
I'm picking Nicholson. Yeah.
I could see why people would pick Nicholson. I might prefer a little bit of Joaquin.
Okay.
Even though I feel like I like the Joker of this one more, almost in Batman. Joaquin, when he's like standing over that fucking door in Joker, and the little guy's trying to get out, like shit like that stays in my mind. The Jack Nicholson performance doesn't stick in my mind as I think of other Jack Nicholson performances like The Shining and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and shit like that.
Yeah.
Before I think of like Joaquin Phoenix, I'm always gonna think of that performance. I think.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker was very much like 80% buildup of who Joker is, and then 20% of Joker.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you compare and contrast like the arcing stories of how they get to there. I mean, Jack Nicholson, you only get like 10 minutes of that, and he falls into the batch of acid. Then he's Joker. Mm-hmm. So it's more of a build-up, and then you finally get it. And he kind of has that unpredictability as well, but I can see it. You know, everyone has a take. I'm going to pick Nicholson.
I mean, the Joker's just one of the best characters ever written.
Yeah, Joker's
really... compare him to the Arkham games.
Because he has no backstory.
Yeah.
So everyone who puts pen to paper on how they're going to write Joker, you can adapt them in your own way because he has no solid foundation of a character. So I think that's really cool. I didn't even think about that till just now. So yeah, Nicholson. And going back to what I review it, I'm going to give this, I think I've said just about all I can say on Tim Burton's Batman and Joker. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
It's slightly above average. I can understand why they liked it back then. And I, for a first-time watcher, liked it when I watched it. It kept me engaged. It has its issues, but I enjoyed it.
That's fair. I'm going to restate that my scores are based off my personal taste and not what I think of the movie. Because I think the movie's probably like a 6 or a 5, somewhere in that range. I give it a 4. Just don't like it. Mm-hmm. You know? Not for me. I've tried. I could appreciate certain elements of it. I don't think it's a terrible movie, but I was definitely bored most of the time. I think that length, the runtime, definitely extends out. I don't think you needed much of Joker when he was Jack. You know, before, I didn't think you needed too much of that, honestly. Don't have a huge issue with it, but I do like that mystery behind a Joker. And if there was time to be cut from the runtime, I'd probably cut that.
That whole fucking thing. That whole portion.
Just save a half hour, you know? I like my superhero movies short and sweet. And this and Batman Returns are not short and sweet.
No.
Batman Returns is also 2 hours.
Yeah.
The sequel to Batman, also Tim Burton. You got Batman, played by Michael Keaton again. You got Michelle Pfeiffer playing Catwoman.
Y'all fucked this one up.
You got Danny DeVito playing the Penguin. And I prefer this one to the OG Batman. I know DJ does not.
What?
I didn't want to tell you that because I come in, DJ's watching the second one. He's talking shit. He's like, but I like the first one. I
what
said
did
I'm
you
not
just
gonna
say?
I told him
Did you just say you like the second one?
I like the second one more because it's way more goofy. I can't believe the second one exists.
You just contradicted yourself.
I know.
You just said the first one was too goofy. Now you're saying you like the second one because it's more goofy than the first one?
It was too goofy, but was it goofy enough?
It was goofy as fuck.
It was goofy. It's too goofy.
Nigga got raised by penguins.
First one is too goofy. This one is even more goofy. I didn't know you could go more goofy.
So it's so goofy. It's so goofy that you liked it?
I'm making up math. I like Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
I'm gonna let you take this off.
Okay.
I need to hear that.
I went in with very low expectations. I said, I'm probably gonna think the same exact thing. I'm not saying I like this movie, because I'm far from liking the movie.
Right.
But if I'm gonna rewatch one, the ridiculousness of Returns is unbelievable. You got Danny DeVito playing the Penguin. It's like fucking groping women. And then talking about it. And he walks up the stairs and Catwoman's laying there. He's like, just the pussy I was looking for. How is this a movie? You tell me that's not crazy? This is a Batman movie. I said in my Letterboxd review, Tim Burton was reading this script. He's flipping through pages, right? Imagine Timmy Tim's on the couch.
Timmy Tim.
And he goes, I'm going to make this the horniest movie ever made. It's a sequel to 1989 Batman. I'm going to make the horniest movie ever made. Fucking Michelle Pfeiffer licking Michael Keaton in this movie Jesus Christ.
From chin to nose.
I was like, is this PG-13 or R? This is unbelievable. I don't understand how this movie exists. Michelle Pfeiffer, before she becomes Catwoman, I'm like, this is a terrible performance. And then she falls off, she gets pushed out a window by random-ass Christopher Walken in the movie. Becomes Catwoman all of a sudden from brain trauma, I guess.
I don't.
Is that comic accurate?
I actually don't know anything about Catwoman, so maybe whatever.
Ridiculous. And she becomes Catwoman, then she gives a pretty funny performance, a good one, I guess, ish.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing, this was also a 4 out of 10.
You gave them the same rating?
Until it got too goofy. Too goofy.
And it went up.
It went up a half.
Oh my god.
Because, bro, this man's plan is to bring an army of real penguins, strap rockets to their backs, and, like, take out a tower or something?
You know what? Okay, I can get behind
This movie is unbelievably ridiculous.
I get it.
His vehicle's like a toy duck that's huge.
I get it. Okay.
He's an actual penguin.
It was so dumb that you laughed.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the first one, they're kind
There's
of...
nothing to laugh at in the first one. It's
Exactly.
too serious.
They're kind of almost equally goofy. Nah, Return's a little more goofy. But
Yeah.
the difference is, I was bored a lot of the time in the first Batman. I wasn't really bored in this one.
Okay.
Because I couldn't believe it. I was almost like, they can't do more. And then they do. Christopher Walken, when Michael Keaton rips off his Batman mask, he's like, Bruce Wayne, why the hell are you dressed up as Batman? And then Michelle Pfeiffer goes, because he is Batman, you moron. I can't believe it's a real movie.
Bro, wait, I want to describe that scene because that shit made me laugh.
Oh,
you were here for that. Batman.
Don't worry, take your time.
Batman takes off his mask and he go, what's her name, man? I forget her name.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I'm gonna just call her Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer.
Because he says the last name. He goes, Pfeiffer? She goes, yes. And he goes, you're fired.
Oh, no. Kyle. Selena Kyle. I thought you meant the actress.
No. Yeah, I couldn't come up. I couldn't, I didn't know her.
Selena Kyle.
Yeah,
That's
Selena
Catwoman.
Kyle's like, Selena? And he's like, yeah. So like, you're fired. And I don't know why. That shit was just, of all the things for him to say, strapped to something. For him to have the balls to be like, bitch, you are fired after I pushed your ass out of a window. And he goes, and Bruce Wayne, why are you dressed up as Batman? And she goes, what happens?
She goes, because he is Batman,
'cause he
you
is.
moron.
And then she walks up to him, puts a taser in front of his lips, and then proceeds to fucking French kiss him to death till he gets electrocuted. I was like, what the fuck? So I get it. Mm-hmm. I get it. It's really wild. That and when you were talking earlier about like some of the quotes.
What's the quote?
I actually had to pause it and rewind it because I was laughing. Batman's untying someone, and she goes, the girl he's untying, she's like, oh yeah, I'll just tell him that I got abducted by someone whose breath smells like fish. I know the whole fucking thing. All right? She goes, oh yeah, I'll just tell him that I got abducted by someone whose breath smells like fish. And then Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman comes down and says, did I hear fish? And then fucking kicks him. And then he punches the shit out of her. She hits the floor. But as he does it, he says, eat floor. And after she lands, he goes, what was it, high in fiber?
High in fiber.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Who wrote this shit?
It's a comic book.
So I get it. I get it. It's more fun. For me, this movie was boring. It was so boring. Because I guess maybe because it was too goofy. Like, I had already set my mind on a mentality of how I think these Tim Burton movies were going to play out based off of the first one.
Right.
So I was like, all right, so this is going to be its pacing. Then I went to the second one to start. It was a back-to-back viewing for me. So 5 hours sitting in this goddamn couch. And so I'm like, oh my God, it's 2 more hours and 5 minutes. So I have the mentality, okay, it's going to be like the same pacing as the first one. And this was a totally different pacing where they're setting up Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. They're setting up and then the romance between her and then Batman, and then setting up Penguin and how he's trying to get from out of the sewers and his origin story, and then Christopher. It was a lot of shit.
You don't like how he lives in the zoo?
And I go for
Arctic
comic
world?
accuracy. What the fuck were you thinking when you said we're gonna make him an actual penguin? Penguin, as I told you off camera, he's a crime lord. He just so happens to look penguin-ish. That's what his nickname they used to call him back in school was Penguin, because he had like an elongated nose, and he had like poor eyesight, so he always had to wear like a monocle.
He's short, he's
stubby, so they called him Penguin. But he's like the most grueling and gruesome crime lord you could probably run into, other than Black Mask.
Wait to see Colin Farrell's.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see how that plays out, because it'll be more with the times, and I'm sure that they're going to cater to him being like this badass asshole of a crime lord. And he just so happens to have umbrellas that happen. It's like an umbrella gun. He has like different umbrellas for different occasions. And here they went, no, we're just going to make him half penguin.
And he talks with the penguins.
Like, if I was in the committee and I reviewed this, I'd be like, all right, so you made him half penguin? Am I getting that right? He has his fucking fingers.
The little...
Another thing that made me laugh was when he jumped into the water to go back to his home, and he just fucking plopped. And then on belly flops, and on top of plopping,
in freezing water,
when he dies, as he's oozing green, why does he have green blood coming out of him? Penguins don't even have green blood.
He had some goo, right? Didn't he fall in some goo or something? Was
it that? I couldn't even understand, because I was zoning out of this.
I just couldn't believe it.
He dies, but it's not him. It's not, Danny DeVito. It's some, like, puppet. That shit just go like that. Like, ugh. So I thought it was boring. I honestly was, like, zoning in and out of the movie. Like, I would come back, and I'm like, the fuck, he's mayor.
Even he says, you want to make me mayor?
I was like, well, he's fucking mayor, and I come back, and he's like, I'm not mayor, but the people are still behind me. I don't even fucking know. And then you had this whole Christopher Walken thing. He's just randomly in this bitch. I thought it was boring, but it did have moments where it made me go, what the fuck? It did have me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
At how terrible some of these scenes were. Batman's killing niggas in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Batman, this dude has, like, I guess a gas lighter, and he's going firing shit up, and he tries to do that to Batman's Batmobile. Batman gets on this one singular cylinder stilt that picks up the whole car, turns it around, goes back down, and he puts on his fucking afterburner, and he burns this nigga to death. There's also another scene where he's fighting someone who I think had like a stick of dynamite or something, and he throws him and then walks away from the explosion. Like, I just fucking blew him up. That shit was wild. So I was expecting to kill people. He's killing people in here. Overall, I thought it was boring, man. That's my thoughts.
There's a lot I like in this movie. I like Danny DeVito.
I hated it.
Oh, you don't like when he bites the guy's nose? I like that.
Yeah, he bit his nose. Every now and then he goes, quack. Let's go. Oh, pussy. Let's quack.
It's ridiculous.
Because he's a penguin.
Right.
Okay.
You didn't feel for his parents? That toss him over the bridge.
That shit was funny. Starting off the movie like that is some balls. Straight chuck this baby.
Such a different movie.
They give no context or anything. It's just them on the way to this river. And they must have, like, you just have to basically fill in the blanks and be like, damn, these parents must have looked at this baby and said, we fucked up somewhere in the process. We're not going to even take him to an orphanage. We're going to throw him over, and it goes into the sewage of under New York City, and so there's penguins?
It was under Arctic World. In the zoo.
Is that how the penguins got there?
It's gotta be. They were abandoned.
Oh, I thought I missed something.
It's a PETA movie.
So we don't even know. So that's just, we're just assuming. Mm-hmm. Okay. You know,
I like his little penguin army.
And then he has a penguin army.
It's cute. They got hundreds of real penguins to march the streets of Gotham City. That's unbelievable. When the girl gets kidnapped and they all think Batman pushed her off, and she like falls on the button and the Christmas tree lights up. You didn't like that?
Oh, he falls on the button.
Remember the girl, like, they kidnapped the blonde girl?
Yeah.
And they, like, save her? That's the eat floor part?
Oh, yeah.
And she falls off, and everyone's like, oh, Batman did it. She falls on the button she was supposed to press.
Yeah.
You didn't like that? I laughed.
I was just like, what was the point then?
That's funny. Because she's, like, in the thing trying to rehearse, do I press the button first? And then it lights, or does it light up first? And I press the button. That's funny.
Batman ain't doing his job. Niggas is dying.
It's a bad Batman.
It's a terrible Batman.
Rookie Batman.
He's killing people and then letting the innocent die. Who is he saving?
Do you care if Batman kills people? That was a big deal with the Ben Affleck one.
No, not at all.
People swear about it. They're like, he killed somebody. You know, it's a bad Batman.
Well, because
Like,
that's his whole code.
Yeah.
But they then wrote a later comic where he leaves and retires and he comes back and is like, I'm gonna fucking kill people. So I don't think it's really a bad thing, but for people who follow him like religiously, that goes against his whole like character.
I just think Tim Burton didn't give a shit.
Yeah, no.
He said, fuck it.
Yeah.
People are burning.
There's no
blowing up.
There's no way. How do you stop him? They can do that now, you know, but this new Batman movie, I think it's year one Batman. Year one, he didn't give a... I think he didn't kill people, but he like fucked people up.
Oh yeah?
Like, you're not going to Arkham. You're going to its hospital.
Hell yeah.
So if it's year one Batman, I think I have that right. I don't think he kills, but he's like breaking niggas' arms and shit. Mm-hmm. So I'm down for that.
This one, he's just goofy.
Yeah, this one is just like grapple hook. He's so fucking stiff because of the costume.
Uh-huh. You didn't like
this?
I thought the effects were better in this one. Like the Batmobile chases,
Yeah.
where he's like doing like loops around the sewer and he's like crashing through all the cars. I was like,
agree.
okay, the effects, they got a bit more of a budget. Mm-hmm. Do you like Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman?
The costume was weird. Was it like, it looked like it was stapled.
Yeah.
It looked like a horror movie
She
costume.
probably put it together herself.
I mean, that's what it was. She did.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. If you were to ask me between... I'm not even going to do that.
Her, Halle Berry.
And Halle Berry.
And Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway's.
I mean, Anne Hathaway I like the most, but...
Maybe I'm just not a Catwoman fan.
Yeah?
I don't think I like any of them.
You don't like Anne Hathaway?
No, I like Anne Hathaway.
Uh-huh.
Love Halle Berry. Like Michelle Pfeiffer. I don't like Catwoman.
Okay.
I think she's a bitch.
Damn.
Well, I mean, I think that's how she's supposed to be written.
Yeah.
And she even says it. She's like, don't listen to me. You just can't get a vibe on her whether she's going to be good or not. And I just don't fucks with that.
You didn't like the lick?
That was weird.
No?
And it was, like, real. How do you go, like...
That's no CGI.
No, you can't fake that shit.
No.
That was tongue from chin to nose. And as creepy as it's going to sound, I looked. I was like... I didn't rewind. I looked. I was like that. And you fucking saw
looking for his boner?
The tongue...
I thought you were saying I'm looking at his dick.
Oh, I'm looking for that saliva trail that she just fucking laid out on his whole fucking face.
I thought you were pausing to look if this man was getting a boner in the Batman costume because you just said how stiff it was.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
No.
That part happened. I'm like, am I watching porn?
Yeah, it was weird,
It's a
dude.
little too much.
But, you know, it...
How many parents were pissed?
What rating was this?
PG-13 probably. You know, you're bringing your kid to see Batman because he loves the comics. Michelle Pfeiffer's giving Michael Keaton a boner.
Talking about fucking... He says... what's the line the Penguin says? Pussy?
Yeah, just the pussy I was looking for. Wild.
The way he emphasized it, too, was just creepy.
I know. It was so funny, I had to pause it. I went to Adam's room because he was working. I was like, you busy right now? I was like, yeah, I'm real busy. I'm like, fuck, I gotta show you this part later. Then I went back and I watched it again. I couldn't believe it. It's not a good movie, but I do enjoy it more than
Enjoyed
Batman.
it more than the first one.
And if you're telling me you have to watch one of them, I'm watching Returns for sure. Because I can't believe it.
Okay.
I don't know. Clearly that's not the full vibe. But
I can understand your take. It's way more goofier, so it's something you can put on and laugh at. Mm-hmm. You know, so I get it.
for me, it's a 5 out of 10.
Average.
Average. It's okay.
It's an average movie.
It's an average time.
Okay.
Not a good movie. You know, in terms of movie, it's probably 3. But I can't believe some of the shit in here. And I can say I had a lot of fun watching it.
Okay.
It's a 5.
Okay. I'm not even gonna give any reason. I'm just bless you and
Allergy
your
season.
life. Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Pollen's
dude.
big here in Orlando right now.
I'm teetering. I'm gonna give this because we can't have dead air because that's what happened last time, and he kept it cut in.
Right.
He kept it in.
Of course I did.
I'm gonna give this. I'm going with my gut. I'll give it a 4.
A 4.
Teetering
Okay.
between a 3 or a 4.
Okay.
I'll give it a 4.
We almost flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. You gave this an average 5.
Yeah, and we're next up is gonna be Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Sorry, which I haven't seen either of them.
And me either.
I've heard stories.
I've seen things.
I've seen 1 or 2 things from Batman and Robin.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
So you have that to look forward to. We're gonna get to the Nolan movies, and then it should be in time for the new Batman. So you get a little bit of everything this month, you know.
Yeah.
But we do have some comments from you guys, specifically Will.
Yes.
Will is an awesome guy.
Because we do comments at the end now.
Yes, we do. Will's been me and Will have been pretty good little pals for a while.
Oh, you know Will.
I do know Will. Will's been a big fan of
Spider-Man.
what I've been trying to do. You always gotta make that joke.
Every time, dude. I'm so sorry.
And Will, we appreciate you.
We do.
We're gonna read. He left 2 comments.
Hey, I'm DJ.
Introduce yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got 2 comments. As I slowly bring them up. So on our top 10 movies of 2021,
Yeah.
he said After Yang was by far the best feature I'd seen that I guess qualifies under the year 2021, despite getting no recognition from this year's Academy Awards and being dumped to Showtime. Hopefully there's some kind of theater run. I'd love to experience it a second time with an audience. After Yang was a big festival movie. It's actually counting technically as a 2022 release because A24 has it. I guess it's going on Showtime too. It's got Colin Farrell.
Ooh.
Same day Batman comes out.
Okay.
So maybe we'll talk about it.
right.
I've heard nothing but great things about After Yang.
Okay.
But I think people are going to count it as a 2022 movie. So we will definitely be having that on the radar.
All right.
On our Jackass and Moonfall video, he pointed out, he time-stamped the part where we're talking about the terrible kid actor.
Okay.
He said, without having seen Moonfall yet, my guess is just Charlie, I can't speak today.
You got
Charlie Plummer was given poor direction by Emmerich, or he just didn't give a shit, because he's really solid in Andrew High's Lean on Pete, and was alright in that boring Ridley Scott movie where he starred alongside his grandfather, Christopher. You know Christopher Plummer?
Christopher Plummer.
Old guy, he just recently died.
Rest in peace.
Big actor, yeah.
My apologies.
Good actor.
Don't know.
That was his grandson, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Movie.
All right.
Needless to say, he's not on Chris's wavelength yet, where he's the best part of any movie he stars in, but he's a pretty decent upcoming talent. So, there's hope
Okay.
for Charlie Plummer.
Okay.
Christopher Plummer, really good actor. Just watched Beginners like a couple months ago. Really good movie. Really
Okay.
good performance. Rest in peace. But yeah, thank you, Will, for the comments. Anyone else that comments, if you want to
We'll read it.
lead to a little discussion, we'll read it at the end from now on, I don't think there's any Apple reviews yet, or Spotify reviews. Spotify, you can't do a review, but you can leave a 5-star. Why not? Or 4. 3, meh. 2, 1, you hate us, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts, we can read that too.
A review or comment shows us that we're doing things right.
We're trying, So DJ, where can the people find you?
D'Angelo Rucker, D'Angelo Rucker, Rucker on Instagram and Facebook, and my YouTube is DShots. DShots. That's it.
You can follow me at Chasezarian on Instagram. It's the only one. I'm rebuilding my social medias one at a time. That's the one I'm slowly getting into. So follow me on there. Letterboxd though, Chill with Chase, where I update every movie I watch with a little joke. And yeah, we'll see you next time for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. That's a big one.
Oh.
We might have to watch that one together. Adam wants to watch it.
Okay.
Batman and Robin.
All right.
So
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
I'm excited to see. You don't know anything about Mr. Freeze?
The actual character, not really, but
I'm excited to see what if they do what I think they're gonna do, which is like his overarching thing that he always wants to do, how they're gonna adapt it, and what your take will be on it, because it's may or may not be silly.
gonna be.
Probably.
Because we all know about Batman and Robin. But I've never seen it. So I finally will sit down and watch it.
We'll get there.
this podcast. It brings good cinema that we have to watch, you know?
And some average ones.
And some Batman and Robin.
And Moonfall.
Peace.
Bye.